Podcast world, and welcome back to Tigs Bits, your weekly dose of insanity fueled from the brain of me, Tigs. Boy, do we have a fun episode for you guys this week. But before we jump into the show, just a couple of housekeeping notes. We have a Facebook page now, so you can look us up on Tigs Bits on Facebook. You can listen to the podcast there, or of course, please do subscribe on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, and leave a review. It really helps the show out. It helps to get it out in front of more people, and that's something that we really are wanting to do here on Tigs Bits. So I have a very special guest today. Chad Blasi and I talk about all kinds of fun and interesting things. Look, I'm just going to tell you right now, I have not laughed as hard as I did making this episode, maybe in my whole life. It was absolutely incredible. Took me a little bit of time to edit this baby down because we went for quite a while on a Zoom meeting, laughing hysterically, having an absolute blast. It's always good to catch up with my buddy Chad. I'll tell you a couple of things that we've talked about in this one. You're going to hear right off the bat. You're going to hear our take on Zoom meetings. We talk about the king of slap, creating a slapping federation. Morgan Freeman even makes an appearance towards the end of the show. Bullhorns, the Miami Sound Machine. Look, if you have ADHD, this is the show for you. We're going 100 miles an hour talking about 100 different things. But I hope you enjoy it. This is it was an absolute blast to make, and I hope you find it as hilarious as we did. We will definitely be getting Chad back on this podcast, so enjoy.
Isn't that sky beautiful behind me, though?
It is. It is.
So that was taken like 2 mornings ago, about 5:20 a.m.
Who took that?
Some guy on the practice field.
For those of you at home, what you're not seeing, it's a beautiful sky in Alabama.
God reached down and touched the earth.
He really did, didn't he? Cotton candy skies.
He really did. Unbelievable.
Purple clouds and majesty. The Trojans behind you. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Blasi. Welcome him to Tigs Bits.
What is happening, Tigs? Good to see you, brother. Now we've texted quite a bit, but I hadn't seen you in a while. So it's good to see you here.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, man.
Zoom is where it's at in this modern age. But I tell you what, you remember when we were kids, you go to the mall, they had an AT&T store in the mall. You could get you a really, maybe it was attached to Radio Shack. Who knows? Something.
Yeah.
One time they had a display of the future. It was it was the video conference phone to where you could have a video conference with someone via.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Now think back to that. All you had was a telephone line. That video would have sucked. You know what? Probably why that never worked. But I saw that thing in the Shreveport. I think it was not Shreve. It was in Shreveport. I think Piermont Mall, I believe, is the name of that mall.
Yeah, I never saw anything like that.
This is the way it's going to be. You know what? Didn't see anything until 20 years later. And then here we are.
Here it is. I remember my grandmother, like, this was like late 70s, early 80s. And her telling me, she said, Chad, you know what's going to be great? The day we can get a phone call and we can look at the person on the other end and have a conversation with them. And I just remember thinking, it just blew my mind, and it hers too, but it was just like, that would be so fantastic.
Kind of sourcey you got, Grandma. What
I know. And here we are. My first experience with Zoom, like I mean, coming in right out of the gate, it's right when COVID happened. I'd done a little Zoom, but not a lot. I've done other meetings like that, but having to get familiar with it, some friends of mine, fraternity brothers, one night, there's about 35 of us on this text chain. At any given point during the day, I can look down at my phone. I have to silence it, and there'll be 147 missed texts. I mean, this damn thing is active. I mean, that's my social media because I don't have Facebook.
Dude, I'm in one of those too. I get it.
Phenomenal. I get all the news I need, the bullshit, the nonsense, everything you can imagine. Sit down 4 hours later and sit down and just start reading. But anyway, we did a Zoom call and I got real creative. I saw you could put a screen behind it. So I put this like nice set of tits right behind me. It was great. So it was funny. Everybody got a laugh out of it, right? Well, that's all well and good until I'm doing this all on my work iPad until like the next week and we have a Zoom call. I remember exactly where I was in Panama City Beach. I pulled off the road on Front Beach Road, looking at the Gulf like, oh, it's going to be a good Zoom call. Boom, I go in live and man, there are those titties right behind me. You know, it's still sitting there. And dude, I was attacking my iPad like it had stole something from me. You know what I mean? I'm hitting everything I could hit. And I finally just hit the power button and shut it down. You know, I was just terrified, absolutely terrified. But I jumped right back into the call like nothing had happened and just started talking. I have no idea to this day, like what was said, what was done, but I know I was live for at least 5 seconds.
Dude, I had laughed that hard in a long time.
That's great.
Have you ever seen that judge who came in as the
he was like a cat? Yeah, he was a cat. Nobody can take him seriously. He's trying to defend his client. I'm not a cat. Although I may appear to be.
Well, that's a wrap, folks. What else do you need?
It's what happened. Man, it's exactly what happened.
I believe it.
And I see all these stories since then because I was on the front end of that action. You know, I was like, hey, I was a victim, and I feel so bad for these people. I see it up. Hey, the other day in Birmingham. These school teachers had a Zoom call. Well, this one chick, I guess, thought she turned her camera off, dude, and she starts going at it with her dude. They just sit there and have sex during the whole Zoom call. And it is everywhere right now. Like it's just last week. The gift that keeps on giving. Like I told you when you told me about this idea and what you were doing, dude, I was like right next to jealous in a good way. You know, I was like, dude, this is like so cool. Like you get out there, just sit there and bullshit with your boys, have some fun, put something out there, man. You know, it's something I've been trying to get a buddy of mine here, you know, Hal. And so I've been trying to he and I to do something because we'll get on the phone in the mornings and start talking 8:00 in the morning. Dude, we'll start on one subject. And dude, I mean, it's like there's never a lack of content. So you get that continuity with somebody. You can just sit there and start bullshitting. It's just like you know what I mean? It just keeps flowing, you know?
It would be an honor to have Hal on the show. I mean, an honor. One thing that I've noticed over the years is everywhere I go, I've met people and then get close to folks like yourself that are just extremely interesting, tell amazing stories, know a lot of stuff, but we just hit it off and there's a bond that's just there.
Dude, I agree.
Yeah, just a lot of fun visiting with my friends and then getting to meet new people, like have your boy come on and, you know.
Just a whole hell of a lot of fun. I'm even repping him tonight. I've got his shirt on here. They can't see it, but I got the JR, the handler. That's him, dude. How about this? Here's a guy. I'll tell you a quick story of JR, though. Here's a guy from Troy. We're fraternity brothers. I mean, dude, one of the most like coolest dudes you've ever met. Absolutely nice. I mean, I don't think you can find one person to say something bad about him. You know what I mean? Just one of those dudes everybody likes. But dude, he can't sing shit. He can't play a damn instrument. He can't do anything. He can't even damn do the soundboard, right? I mean, this dude don't know anything. But what he did do, he bought a big ass van in college and went to Wayne Mills. I don't know if you remember the Wayne Mills band.
No,
they're kind of more of a local legend deal, but but Wayne was pretty big. He used to open up for Widespread. So Wayne would open up for Widespread. No, wait, hold on. Maybe I'm confusing that, but Wayne was big. He may not open for Widespread, but he was big.
We'll just, and for the sake of this podcast, he was like big Alabama country guy, right? I mean, more of a South Alabama
story kind of grew. Yeah, and even central part of the state. Yeah, it's a pretty big guy. So anyway, so he gets Wayne Mills and goes, hey, man, I got a van. I can take you all around. This guy starts hauling the band around, like, hey, I can't play, but I can haul you around. I mean, Blake Shelton used to ride with them on their bus. They ended up getting a bus. They kind of grew. Blake was the opening act for them. And so, but JR just hung in there, man. Next thing you know, he's become like this legend in country music. I mean, he's the handler. I mean, that's what they call it. Everybody calls him that. And next thing you know, he's a tour manager for John Party. And now he's with Justin Moore. But dude, everybody knows him. He's like the damn Whisper or something, It's like, what does he do? He's the damn handler. You got to have him, You can't go with that. But no, he's a great dude. Him and Justin Moore got a really good podcast called the Justin Moore Podcast.
Yeah.
But, it's fun.
Check it out.
Same shit. Yep, absolutely. But anyway, I'm repping his shirt tonight. I'll throw an announcement in here. I just got engaged about a week and a half ago. So,
all right.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, sir. That's kind of the world. She's like, why are you telling people? I was like, I've way outkicked my coverage. I mean, like kicked so much out of the stadium. I'm running down there just trying to cover up. So I had to throw a ring at her before she woke up and realized who she was with, But no, I got a good one, man. I'm happy. But
and here you are in the big time. You made it to Tigs Bits.
That's right. That's right. Came on here just to make that announcement. I'm done. Appreciate you having me tonight. That was it.
That's it.
So, dude, how did I just notice this? I have no idea. I've been trying to read what's behind you on that wall. See a 9. I feel like it's got something to do with Drew Brees or something. Who is that?
Can you see?
What's that say to the left of it? That's what I've been focused on. And I just noticed something. I can't believe I hadn't noticed the whole damn time.
It says, thank you, Drew.
Okay. He was solid, man. God, he was so good.
So my buddy, Tommy, you've heard me talk about Tommy before. I've told you about Tommy Chopin, and I go to that's who I go to most of those Saints games with. Pretty much all of the Saints games I go with him and my buddy Chad, which I'm going to tomorrow to Tool. I'm going to see Tool tomorrow night with them.
That's going to be phenomenal. That's what I was saying earlier. My fiance's best friend just started dating this guy, and he likes Tool a lot. Well, dude, you have to know her. Like she's never even heard of Tool, and she's going to that same concert tomorrow night. So I can't wait to hear her feedback. Yeah, and she's more of a pop, fun country music girl. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a hell of an experience for her.
She's gonna. I hope she likes lights and psychedelic images.
She's gonna be.
Because she's going to get bombarded with them.
She's going to be in for it. I can't wait to hear the feedback. But I was going to tell you, I just have noticed that fine visor you have on.
Damn, this whole time.
I'm unbelievable. I've been looking at that poster. I mean, that picture back there behind you, trying to read it. I did bring out the bullhorn tonight, just in case. You never know, and you might need the bullhorn. I mean, it comes in handy from time to time,
Yeah, it does.
That's like a time those cops told me, said, set the champagne bottle down. I was on my front porch on New Year's Eve, and they thought I was shooting at them. And I had a champagne bottle in my hand. That was back in Troy days in a trailer. And all I could hear was, set the champagne bottle down. And I was like, why is this happening? You know, like, and they came in there, dude, guns blazing. They said, you were shooting at us. I said, no, I was popping a champagne cork on my porch. Those shots came from at least 2 rows away.
Oh, man.
I didn't hear them.
You just don't get this anywhere else, folks.
Oh, I lost you for a second. I'm back. I'm back live. We're back. And
what's hilarious is every now and then you lean back and your whole head disappears.
Dude, I just noticed that. I was going back. And I was like, where'd my head go? Diving off into the clouds. I do got to tell this story, man, because first time I met you, I mean, like, absolutely. I don't remember first time meetings with like everybody I know. Like, honestly, I don't remember first time meetings probably with 5% of the people that I know. But dude, I remember yours to a T. It's like, so we're hanging out. We're at the Hammock Bay Clubhouse. We'd all just moved in Hammock Bay. You've been here a few months before me. This is like, what was this, 08? And, you know, so they had this neighborhood. The developer went all out, put all the amenities in well before this place was built out. There was probably 8 or 10 of us that ran it. Unbelievable clubhouse here, like pool,
dynamite,
theater. Man. I mean,
top notch.
I mean, dude, phenomenal. And we took advantage of it. So we're all hanging out. I never met at that time. You know, it was always Brantley. You know, for me, I probably say Brantley and Tigs about 50-50. If I'm talking about 2 other people, oh, this is my buddy Brantley, this, and this. And then you walk up for the first time and they're standing with me. I'm like, Tigs. They're like, who the hell's Tigs? I'm like, oh, Brantley. You know, I was telling you about it. And they were like, well, I never heard Tigs before. So Tigs is more of a something in the moment, you know? Yeah. So, but anyway, I never met you, man. Never even talked to you in my life. And I remember right where I was standing, we were out in front of the clubhouse on the front patio, and we're just sitting there having conversations like we are now, just bullshitting about this or that or football. And I remember Tiggs is standing there, and he's got I remember his Tervis tumbler. I mean, the big one, not the little one, just full clear.
Just mainly water.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yes, 100%. It was highly clear. Yes, mainly water. Big, tall glass of water. So I remember we're just talking, and he's got his drink. He's got an LSU button-up shirt on, you know, untucked, but, you know, looking crisp. You know, there's Brantley standing there. And so we're talking, and all of a sudden he goes to that top button on his shirt, and he pops it, and he goes, "Oh, there goes one." And I remember it kind of threw me off. I was like, "Did I hear that, or am I thinking I heard that?" I was like, "I don't know what I just heard." And then everybody just kept talking about what we were talking about, and nobody checked up. He didn't check up, kept talking, and I was like, "Shit, I don't know if I heard that or not." Probably 10, 20 minutes later, he goes to that shirt again. Boom! Oh, there goes another one. And I was like, there's a pattern developing here. You know, I was like,
hell yeah, there is.
I'm following this, and this is unusual. It's just, you know, 3 or 4 dudes standing here, and this guy's slowly unbuttoning his shirt and announcing it at each button point, you know? By that point,
making my presence felt.
I'm totally, I can't hardly listen to what they're talking about because I'm trying to figure you out. I was like, what is going on with this cat? And then sure enough, you know, like a damn timer, you know, it's like, boom, and a third. I remember he announced it too, and he just kept talking. And I was like, he's standing there, you know, just full down shirt, chest out, like, and, you know, keeps going. Shirt comes off. I mean, like he was working towards it was a process he had in place there, and he was working right towards it. But I knew after that night, I was like, "This is my guy right here. I like this dude. He's different. He's odd as hell. I like him.
Hey, I am." Oh my God! I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. Oh man, look, this whole format, whoever created Zoom is the greatest human being on earth.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
And it goes back to that AT&T mall. Mall store, I'm telling you.
It really does.
Yeah,
They had the idea. It was just getting the technology to support it.
It may have been Bell South.
Hey, I grew up with a party line. I don't know if you're familiar with a party line, but there was 3 houses all on the same phone. And growing up, you picked up the phone, somebody was talking, you just set it back down. You didn't even second guess it. You didn't sit there and snoop. Like I'm sure people did, but like I was raised, it was like, there's somebody else on the phone. I guess I'll wait a little longer.
Like the orgy of phones. Hey, subscribe to this party line. It's a gas, man.
But you know those people everywhere sitting there just listening to everybody else talk.
You go back to the old days, and that's the way it was. You had those crank phones and all that. And I remember asking my grandparents, was that real? Like, they're like, was it real? It's the same way right now as if a kid asked one of us, like, the internet didn't exist. What the hell do you mean? You couldn't, what?
Oh my God.
Had to watch TV on cable?
I had a damn antenna. We had 3, 4, and 12 growing up, My
papa had an antenna and it rotated. It had a thing that you would put inside, turn it, and it would turn. You could turn it to the northwest, turn it to the west. You could turn it to the east. You could REM this thing, but you could get 3 channels. Usually they only came in when there was a tornado warning. Like they ain't no power. All of a sudden the FCC goes, "Hey, this is the FCC. I'd like for you to blast that thing. Blast it." And then just turn it up.
Turn her up. And then just turn her up.
You could hear it 5 miles away, but that was
loud
then.
And clear.
These days it comes in an app or.
Oh yeah, whole different world. Like the internet goes down, we have bad service for 3 miles, and it's like, what is happening? Like my internet's not working. This has got to be fixed. And I was like, you have no idea, kids.
The double whammy happens if the internet goes out, and this only happens in hurricanes, and you know how this happens, and strong tropical storms.
It's the end of the
mainly
world.
Hurricanes. You lose cell and Wi-Fi.
Oh, what do I do now? I'm disconnected.
You kind of forget how to live with yourself. Like how?
The king of slap. Yeah, that dude can slap somebody. It's unbelievable. So he is hands down the greatest hand slap guy on earth. And I've been trying for years I want to get by a van, wrap it with King of Slap and show up at spring break and start going after these kids and filming that shit on YouTube. Man, it would go wild. But his fear is that somebody's going to knock him out, like come up and just punch him while they're playing hand slaps. And then he's going to become this joke. And then everybody's going to start this whole thing called Knockout
That's
Hal.
his fear?
I swear, this is his fear. And everywhere he goes, he's tried to go out to eat with his family, and somebody just comes up and crow hops him, and they film it, put it on YouTube, and he's just going to be getting knocked out left and right. And I was like, Hal, that's ridiculous. I don't think that's going to happen. That's the only thing holding him back. That's his true fear.
I mean, Hal's what, 6'2", at least 6'1", 6'2",
about 245. Dude, his hand speed,
solid man, strong as an ox, slaps people harder than anybody. I mean,
he'll draw blood on your hands.
There's a lot of assumptions that could happen here. I'm going to ask for those at home, how do you know he slaps hard?
Oh, I've been hit, and I've been hit hard. And I usually have to sacrifice myself because for a while I was collecting content. I was like, so I'd have to get out there to be, 4, 5, 6 dudes hanging out. And I'd be the first dude. Come on, let's get going. And so I'd get him fired up. And don't get me wrong, he'd pop me like.
So this is Jackass style.
Oh, 100% Jackass style. And you've been involved in it. And that's another story. But
I know I'm aware of this. I wanted those at home listening to understand that this is voluntary slaps.
100%. It's everybody's, you're in, you understand what's about to happen. The rules are explained. They're very simple. Don't put your hands out there. There's a neutral zone that's in front of you. We got a whole,
Right.
I mean, I've got all the rules written to set up this whole federation.
I think now's a good time to go over those rules.
It is. The number one rule and the simple rule is don't put your hands out there unless you want them slapped, because he could have his hands down at his hips. And once they enter the neutral zone, it is free game. When there's a slap or and a slappee. When you're the slappee and you put your hands out there, he's going to beat them to death. He may come from the hip. He may come from his damn ear. I mean, but dude, when he hits you,
we're talking about hand slaps.
And we're talking about vicious hand slaps. He will destroy you. And
I was talking about face slaps.
Well, see, that was a different game then. We were a little crazier. And we used to do that. Was the story I'm getting to. So this dude's the king of slap. We've minimized it to hand. But back in the day, we used to do some face slaps, and it got really, really out of control. Like people were having to wear helmets and shit, and 2x4s coming across heads. But one night, Brantley Tigs came out that night, and I was talking to Hal today about this, telling him what we're doing, and he was like, "I remember that one time Tigs just slapped the shit out of me in the face." And what was bad, he said, I wasn't expecting it. He just kind of walked up there and was like, wow. And he was like, dude, it's like my jaw separated. I didn't know where I was. He said, I was knocked out on my feet, but I couldn't act like it bothered me too much. He said, I remember trying to talk, and it was just like, oh, you just hit me. He said, that's still to this day the hardest I've ever been slapped in the face. He said, when slapped him. Oh, God. That's the same night I think that Bo pulled all those knives out like Edward Scissorhands. Somehow he had 10 knives in each hand. He can't.
That's on YouTube. Somehow it was. It was on YouTube at one point. It really was. Bo comes at me with knives.
Oh my God.
I think is what I labeled it. Oh man. I'll tell you what, I don't remember slapping him, but I do. I really don't remember slapping him. That's the crazy thing. I do remember sitting at that table at their house again, possibly the same night, but we went there several times.
Yeah, we did. Had live music in the garage.
Yeah. So who was it? His dad played with Gloria Stefan. Is that right?
Yeah, with the Miami sound machine.
That's right.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of that. Jerry,
and he played with the Allman Brothers, didn't he?
You know, like dude, he is an unbelievable talented keyboard player. Like he can tickle those ivories with the best of them. I mean,
goody. So just to set this up that night, and his son, Hal's brother, what's his name? I forget. He played at my house a couple of times. What a crazy thing to say. Yeah, he played a couple of shows at my house before my neighbor wanted to kill my dachshund, Dixie, Land of Light. Dixie was the best, wasn't she? Was the best
Dixie. Oh, hot dog.
Yep, best weenie dog ever. So continue on with Mr. Miami Sound Machine keyboardist. Hal's dad. What's his name?
Absolutely, Andy the Legend Laird. He is a damn legend. I tell you what, he's been married and divorced at least 7 times. I know he can't get married in Alabama anymore. That's what I do know. They've cut him off. They've cut him off on marriages. Hey, he's a great guy. You know, I mean, unbelievable. But you know, he's found the one this time, and so him and Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Look, man. I mean, I gotta ask. This is a fair question, and I've had an enjoyable night with Mr. Andy Laird, where he played keyboards to
give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself.
That's the song that we did in Hal's garage the night.
You're exactly right.
And I went on a 10-minute tangent of not getting a single lyric right, but I never missed a beat. And he just kind of nodded and went with it. Like,
So you had a nice epiphany that night. No matter what curveball is thrown at me, I think I can work my way through it.
We criticize Hal for a lot of things, but one thing he does have is he's always had a really good musical taste, as all of us have had a really good musical taste. That's another reason why we bonded. Music, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Music.
Absolutely.
And y'all exposed me to a lot of music that I'd never really listened to, and not necessarily because it just wasn't presented to me until I moved to the Emerald Coast when I got to Florida, and really I kind of sunk into those beach vibes, man. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do when you live there. And then I meet you and a lot of other people, as we alluded to, just that vibe runs through the Emerald Coast, period, from Panama City. Apologies if you're listening just a hair east of Panama City. I know you guys are sensitive near the over there, but it's okay. We enjoy your oysters all the way to Pensacola. Really to Biloxi in a sense.
Oh yeah, Orange Beach.
Orange Beach and Gulf Shores. Orange Beach is Gulf Shores, where basically the white Emerald Coast ends.
Yep.
Biloxi's got its deal, but. I
love Orange Beach. That whole area is so cool. They got their own vibe going there.
Look, I'm sorry, folks in Biloxi. It's beautiful in its own way, but if you want to have a good beach, you don't go to Biloxi. It's kind of like going to Galveston. I grew up going to Galveston. A lot of great family trips. I mean, I've told you this over the years. Every summer, my grandparents, and I'm thankful, blessed, happy, took us to Galveston, and we had an absolute blast every single summer. But I moved to Destin, and basically, I moved to Destin. I moved to Freeport, Florida, and
you frequented Kelly's.
My favorite grocery store was Kelly's, where shoes, shirts, and service not required.
100%. Oh, dude. The meat market was great. The store was nasty. Their music was phenomenal. They piped in some damn badass music.
They had that grocery store music that you had in the 90s. You know what I'm talking about? You had that whole mix that just played. There was look, this is before Spotify and freaking Apple Music and all of this stuff. Where did they get all of that music that just would play? Like, you would hear that in department stores, Dillard's and JCPenney, but it was all the same mix with a DJ, to make it sound like they were streaming the radio, because at that point in time, wow, you're playing the radio in this whole Dillard's or this whole Sears. You're like, well,
it was piped in. I don't know where they piped it in from at that time, but they were piping shit in. It was steady. It was no commercials. It was just music, and that was all it was. Like,
was there an alternate channel? I mean, look, I think this is one of those things that I want to know the answer to. I don't know the answer. Somebody listening, email tigsbits@gmail.com. Somebody out there is listening. I want to know the answer. What did they use back then?
That one weird looking dude, he was smaller. I'd give him probably 5'4", just a smaller person. You know what I mean? Like, he probably weighed 110, 12 pounds soaking wet.
Always wore a plaid shirt.
Yeah, he had this dark hair, quiet, never said anything. I think he may have even been the manager. Like, because I know one time I got him to approve a car wash out front, and I talked to him. But dude, he's still available. He is at Publix
right
and
now.
All he does, yes, and he stocks shelves, and he does not interface with anybody.
You think I can ask him this question?
Yes,
he may be able to
bring him
answer
on. I can 100%. I bet we can get him on. I know exactly where to find him. Somewhere in the frozen section, restocking the shelves.
Oh yeah,
and he's still around, and he'll have all that information. I bet.
The guy's probably got a key lime pie in his hand right now. from Stouffer's, our friends at Stouffer's.
The grocery store guy.
I'll tell you what, Mary B's biscuits, though, they don't get any better than that.
No, they're solid. That's a solid cat head biscuit. If you
it really is. I mean, can you make a better cat head biscuit at 8:00 in the morning? Hey, kids are over there. Daddy, I'm hungry.
Oh, it's kind of where it's at.
I'm gonna make some scrambled eggs. I got some frozen sausage. And I'm gonna make you a cat head biscuit from my friends at Mary B's.
Mary B's bringing the heat.
Look, man, if you don't go for the stars, I want a sponsorship from Mary B's. Also, would like one from Frigidaire. Right back there would be a very nice Frigidaire.
It would look 100%.
Look really good on Tig's bit.
I agree. I think Frigidaire would be a great sponsor.
Sure, they would.
Right in line.
But I mean, look, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I just want somebody to recognize that I need a refrigerator in here because it is getting hot in the studio. Anywho, I know you've got one more story on old Hal Laird. What is it that you call him?
Call the most polarizing figure in Walton County. It's either you love this guy or you want to knock him out. And I think that's why he's concerned about knockout Hal. And it's funny. I meet people and they're like, I'm like, hey, you know Hal Laird? He's my absolute best friend. And some people look at me and be like, I cannot stand that son of a bitch. And as much as I love him, and I'll defend him to the end of the day, like he's my boy, but I'll be like, you know what? I completely understand. Yeah. I hear that probably on the flip of a coin. I hear that. Like,
flip of a coin.
Either you love him or you hate him. I've never seen somebody so polarizing.
That's Hal Laird, folks. And Hal Laird will be on this show soon. You're going to want him. I promise you. Or you will never listen to this show again. Chad's right. There is no in between. But you know what? I'm willing to take the chance because Hal entertains me to no end. I think he's hilarious and he's a good guy. He is a good guy.
He is. If you're willing to take people at their faults and you're willing to be open to people, he is as good as gold.
Absolutely.
But I've seen him go son of a bitch. I remember one time I'll tell you a quick story about Hal Laird. Here's a good example. We're at the Opp Country Club where I grew up, Opp, Alabama. I took him up there. We're playing golf. We're in the tournament. This is Saturday. We've all played. So now they got to flight the teams, got to put you how you scored on the first day based on the flight you'll be in the next day, right? So you got an A, B, and C, which is the first three flights, the best 8 scores in each division. Then it goes A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. So it's basically 6 flights. We played pretty well that day, but we didn't play great. We shot 10 under. And leading the flight of the tournament, I should say, was a 17 under. So we should have been probably in championship B, the next flight, team starting 10, 11 under, right in there, 12 under at the most. We got put right in the bottom of A. And there were 3 other teams that shot the same thing we did. And so Hal thought it was some conspiracy. He thought because we'd come up, they had drawn us out on purpose and put us in there with the best teams and we didn't have a chance. Listen here, guys. Listen here, this is goddamn bullshit. What they do, they come up from goddamn Florida. I bring my goddamn money up here. I come up here and play a little golf. And you motherfuckers is what you did. You motherfucker me. And dude, he starts raising hell in the middle of the bar. But what's funny is people have kind of tuned him out because it'd been going so long, so it wasn't so bad. Well, there's this guy from Opp. His name's Billy Johnson. Well, Billy had died years ago, and they set up this Billy Johnson Billy Johnson Memorial Tournament. This is what we were playing in. We were playing in the Billy Johnson. This was Billy Johnson from Opp, Alabama. You don't Billy Johnson. Well, Hal's raising hell, starts walking out of the bar and leaves, and everybody discontinued him and moved on what they were talking about. Then he opened that door and he said, I'll tell you one more goddamn thing. The goddamn Billy Johnson. and he slammed the door. And I was like looking around, and thank God nobody had heard him, because he probably just got his ass whipped. You know what I mean? That was like ass whipping material. And I ran out there to him, got him under control. But I was like, man, you were one statement away. And he even, I'm sorry, dude. I kind of went dick there. I'm sorry. Let me come back in. And I'm like, nobody heard you. Just come on back in. If you had it, you'd have got your ass whipped out here on the putting green, But there's a Hal Laird story of, he's always on the edge of just like, he'll go a little too far sometimes, but he really don't mean nothing by it. He was just pissed he got the wrong flight, but he'll take that extra step sometimes.
He pissed. He got in the wrong.
Nobody did it to us on purpose, Hal.
Of a golf tournament. No one gives a shit about on earth. But Hal that day.
God. Oh shit! I talked to him about daily. He got pissed about his damn flag football team. Almost started fighting the assistant coach the other day. Told him he'd quit. He's done. And then he calls back the next morning and apologizes. I'm so sorry. Got a little. Hey, sorry guys. I got a little over the top there. He's quit on it though. That's where you got to give Hal a chance. Like, you give him about 24 hours, he'll apologize.
Hey, cools off.
He does, but sometimes he says some shit he wish he hadn't said, but he'll just say it anyway.
If there ain't been a time in my life when I hadn't got a little hot and said some things I regret.
Oh, everybody does, man. So anyways, he's my boy, I take come as you are, right?
That's right.
I'll tell you what, seriously, this has been absolutely fun.
It's been
I've
a
enjoyed
blast.
this as much as anything. I've been looking forward to it. And it's been, what's funny? It's been absolutely what I thought it was going to be.
Good.
It's like, it's been great, man.
I'll tell you what, though, Justin Moore doesn't have a clue about what he's going to run into with me.
You're probably not going to like right out of the gate.
He's an Alabama fan.
No, probably. It sounds like maybe even worse for you. He's a big Arkansas guy. He's from Arkansas. He lives in Arkansas.
Oh, he's a Hog fan.
Yes, he is. He's a Hog fan. Yeah, he is. But hey, I tell you what I do like about him. He brings some authenticity to country music. Like, don't get me wrong. I love it all. I love all country music. But there's just, you got different genres of it going. But man, he brings some, like, I don't know, it's like a Clint Black type thing going on there, and it's true to its roots, and that's what I like. He brings a cool vibe to it, but dude, he still stays true to the roots of country music, and he does a great job, man. He's like, everything that comes out, this cat is on fire, and he's a good dude. He's a good guy.
So you like him?
No, I don't know him. I don't know him from. I shouldn't say I know through JR, but just talking with JR and talking with him. He's just a solid guy. It's like him and JR are like best friends. I think JR his kids, father of his kids. They're super tight.
That's awesome, man. I hope he'll come and join us on here sometime. The Handler. Be fun to have him on. Man, I'll tell you, this has been a great show, Chad.
Dude, I've beyond enjoyed myself. Like I told you coming on, and in my Morgan Freeman voice, I'll drop in, Bradley, I can certainly tell you, I've really enjoyed the opportunity to come out here tonight and be able to talk with you and just shoot the shit just a little bit. It's been phenomenal. It's been so much fun. I can tell you, I can't wait to get back and do this from time to time. Let Andy know he's down there on that coast hanging out, still hiding from the cops. But maybe I'll even bring Andy with me and we'll come back and we'll visit you.
That would be awesome. But I only have one request. Please make sure that we get Hal on here.
No, we'll definitely get Hal.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Well, look, that was an absolute ton of fun. I really have not laughed that hard in a very long time. I want to thank Chad Blasi for coming on to Tigs Bits once again. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. He will be back on very, very soon to continue with some more stories that he and I have. These types of things just seem to happen anytime that we get together and just start to visit. Things happen, but looking forward to it. Again, please share this with your friends. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a review, like it, subscribe to it, tell folks about it. Go to our Facebook page. Just type in Tigs Bits and you will find our Facebook page. And we look forward to interacting with you on there and having some discussion about some of the shows, ask questions, things like that as we continue to build this community. Until next week, have a great rest of your day, have a great rest of your week, and have a great weekend, whenever that is that it will be. See you next time.